Evanston. Easy trip for the defending West Division champs, and you can see making their presence felt. Some star power indeed from Northwestern football. Paddy Fisher, Joe Gaziano, and Jared Thomas representing the Wildcats here and joining me right now. And I'll start with you, Jared, but I'm interested in getting the take from all three of you guys. You did win the West. You won it by 3 games, and yet you fell short in the Big Ten championship game. You won a bowl game, so they're kind of a mixed bag there at the end of the year. What's the biggest takeaway from this season?
Well, I think first and foremost, when you get to a game like the Big Ten championship, it just the sense of urgency goes up. You can feel it in the facility. Everybody they got a little taste, and they're like, let's get back. And I know the 2 guys next to me can agree with that. So everybody is just chomping at the bit, because now we knew that was a standard even before we got there. But now that we did get there, now it's the standard to continue for that success to come in.
Patty?
Yeah, we've got guys that are eager, that are coming back, especially on the defensive side of the ball, that are hungry, that are wanting to learn more, that are wanting to get in the film room and fix those mistakes. And I think losing that Big Ten championship game really hurt, and it did a lot of good for us.
Yeah, it feels great to be able to get to that point, and we're able to learn from our mistakes that we made along the way to get there and the mistakes that we made in that game. But at the same time, we did a lot of good things that helped us to get to the Big Ten championship. So be able to repeat those things is paramount in this offseason, be able to kind of take that next step.
Well, you talk about repeating, Joe, and yet I've looked through a lot of preseason publications. I have yet to find one that has chosen Northwestern to win the Big Ten West. You did win it by 3 games a season ago. I saw one publication, very prominent one, that did not pick you to make a bowl game. What do you guys, how do you take that, Joe, when you hear that stuff?
Yeah, I smile because at Northwestern we've flown under the radar every year that I've been here, and yet we've won 3 bowl games in a row, and we haven't lost a Big Ten West game in 2 years. So I think to be able to fly under the radar helps us to kind of achieve that goal that we have set for us. We're not the flashiest team. We know that. We play fundamentally sound. We win football games, but we're not expecting everyone to praise us because we play fundamentally sound.
Paddy, what do you think when you hear that?
I love it. Just chop that wood and throw it in the fire. That's more fuel.
Jared?
I mean, I echo the same sentiments. I like it personally, fly under the radar, because it makes something like last year that much sweeter. So keep us under the radar.
There is some hype around one of the quarterbacks in your quarterback room, and Pat Fitzgerald was very quick to point out at the luncheon today. He's not necessarily your starting quarterback at this point, but Hunter Johnson, the transfer from Clemson, you work with him very closely. Give us a sense of what makes Hunter Johnson special.
I think Coach Fitz said that because I'm going to be the quarterback. I think I'm going to snap and then go catch it and then go from there. But no, we got to give a lot of love to all the quarterbacks in the room, because it will be a competition. Somebody has to come to the forefront, and when they do, we'll be ready as an offensive line. Shout out to all the guys back at home in the offensive line room. Our job is to block in the run game and in the pass game. So when that happens and we do our job, we have success as a team. So we're looking forward to the challenge. Whoever comes to the forefront, as our quarterback, we'll be ready to go.
What can you guys tell us going up against Hunter Johnson? What can you tell us about his game, particularly running the scout team last year, so you saw him up close and personal?
Yeah, he's a very talented individual who loves the game of football and has always wanted to get better. I was just in the film room with him the other day, just kind of learning from little bits and pieces of what he can drop on me, and I was scaffolding his learning as well. He's a very talented guy that is just coming into work, and he's a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's a talented guy, and he can spin the rock. Unfortunately, on scout team, I'm not allowed to lay a finger on him, but he's definitely slippery and sneaky athletic.
One of the issues for you guys, certainly last year, and I think in recent years, has been slow starts. And it really kind of plagued this team. You got the win against Purdue last year, and then it kind of spiraled downhill a little bit before the incredible finish that you had. How do you avoid the slow starts that have unfortunately become kind of an albatross you wear around your neck, Joe?
Yeah, for sure. I think as a team, we mentally need to prepare for not just the first game, but the first month of football. And that starts with leadership. And the 3 guys that we have here are definitely willing and able to kind of lead our guys to be able to be prepared for that. And that's not just something you can change in the offseason. It's something you have to continually work towards, especially when we put the pads on in August.
You guys have had 4 straight winning seasons in conference play. The last time that was done at Northwestern was 1938 through 1941. So it has been a long time. It is a huge accomplishment. How do you explain the consistency that you guys have found. I think if there's one thing that has become defining in this program, Paddy, it is consistency. Why?
Yeah, I think we've got guys that are, coming into work day in and day out. I think it's instilled in the coaching aspect and also the strength and conditioning aspect. We kind of switched up our conditioning days to where we're conditioning on Mondays rather than Tuesdays, and just kind of making that switch to start fast, right? To come in and be mentally prepared and switch things up and catch us off guard to make sure that we're preparing every day, in hopes that we could take this program to the next level.
Jared, your position group has kind of been up and down through the years. Recently at Northwestern, you have a new offensive line coach in Kurt Anderson. Give us a sense of how things are going to be different with this group.
I think from a technical standpoint, there will be a lot of things that are different. Coach Cushing left a great mark on us. He's off to do better, bigger and better things for himself as a coach. But for Coach Anderson, he's done great things for us just in the short stint that he's been with us here in the spring. And, just his teaching style, and he's very passionate. Guys at practice all the time say, man, over by your individual area, that guy is fired up. He loves offensive line. And that's what we need as a position group, because when a guy loves it as much as we do, it just makes it for that much better of a match. So technically it'll be different. We'll do some different things schematically, but more so than anything, we'll be physical, we'll be nasty, so we'll be ready to go.
A lot of individual accolades for this defense, guys, and you are two of the guys who are earning them. Paddy, you're on all kinds of All-American lists, and not, third team or honorable mention. First team All-American linebacker. You're being mentioned as a first-round draft pick in the NFL. What does it mean to hear all that kind of swirling around you?
Yeah, it means nothing, to be honest. It's preseason. I'm going to be honest. It doesn't mean anything. I've got to show and speak that into existence if I'm going to be about that. It's coming in and working and sticking to the script. But all the preseason accolades, it doesn't mean anything.
Joe, you've accomplished a lot in your career. You're the all-time, or the current leader, I should say, active leader in sacks in college football among everyone in the country. What do you attribute that success level to?
Yeah, I think I had a lot of great mentors early in my career. Dean Lowry, Deontay Gibson, Afadio Denigbo, great pass rushers that have kind of taught me the ways and how to get after the quarterback. But kind of being a senior now, I have to take that upon myself to pass it on to the younger guys, make sure that they're hungry and they're learning as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. When we go on campus, of course, we get a chance to spend time not just with some of the players like you guys, but with the coaching staff as well. And Mike Hankwich has just been a constant there at Northwestern. And as you guys know, he has kind of this mad scientist quality to him, right? He loves talking X's and O's. He loves talking defense. And, of course, he is the defensive coordinator. Give people who don't know Mike Hankwich, Joe, a sense of who he is.
If you want to know who Mike Hankwich is, go watch Breaking Bad, because that is pretty accurate. But, yeah, you talk about a mad scientist. He will be eating a meal and all of a sudden think of something and pull out a napkin and write down X's and O's, and later will be drawn up on the board in front of us. So he lives and loves the game, and we're very fortunate to have him as our coordinator.
What's it like to play for him, Paddy?
He's an old-time guy who's just a vault of knowledge, dating back to, I don't even know how
a long time. Yeah.
So much long ago. But he's just got so much wisdom, so much knowledge. And just like Joe said, he's always talking about X's and O's, always talking about football. But one thing he does like is he does like trains. I did learn that from one of my Kenosha walks with him, is he loves trains.
Really? And how, just talking in general about
just what they did for America and the westward expansion and things of that nature.
All right. He's got little pockets of knowledge.
He's an old-time guy.
Yeah, no doubt. Pat Fitzgerald, of course, has a lot of institutional knowledge, and to play for somebody who has walked in your shoes, who's gone to class in the same buildings that you guys go to class in, who's put on that same uniform. What does it mean to have someone who kind of bleeds purple in the way that Pat Fitzgerald does as your head coach?
I think first and foremost, he's able to put himself in the position that we're in because he was once there, as you said. So if there's an issue that comes up, positive, negative, he comes to us and asks, what do you guys think? What should we do? And then from there, he is a head coach and he'll make the final decision. But ultimately, he listens to his players, and no one on the team feels like they're unheard because he's always there for us. He's backing us in the media, he's backing us in workouts, whatever it is, he's always there for us. So we definitely appreciate him.
What's it like to be a linebacker for Pat Fitzgerald, Paddy? This is the only guy ever to win the Bednarik Award 2 years in a row as the National Defensive Player of the Year, and he's your coach, and you're playing his position.
Yeah, it's real neat because I get to be myself. I don't get to be Pat Fitzgerald. I get to express myself and be the type of player I am. So it's a real neat deal.
Do you lean on him for linebacking advice?
I mean, he's in there dropping little bits of knowledge in the linebacking room, but not as much as y'all would think. But no.
All right. You lost a couple pretty good tackles. Jordan Thompson was outstanding for you guys last year. How does it change the dynamic of the defensive line, Joe?
Yeah, Jordan and Fred White are both great leaders and great players in the defensive line. And, we expect a lot of guys to step up, but it's kind of it's going to be by committee. It's not going to be one guy who's going to fill that role. So, Trevor Kent, Joe Spivak, Alex Miller has had a great offseason. And Jake Saunders as well is a big guy who can plug the middle. So we got a lot of guys who can step up and bring waves of defensive, attack at each offensive line that we face.
Jared, I'd be remiss if I did not ask you about your BTN internship. You were a familiar face walking around the BTN offices this past spring. What was the biggest thing that you learned?
Wow. Put me on the spot there a little bit.
Yeah. Don't you have to write some sort of report about it or something?
Yeah, the internship is over, so no more reports.
Okay.
But, I think the biggest thing is just the relationships that I built with everyone behind the scenes. Everyone sees you and Mike and Rick and all the great talents that are at BTN, but I think the personalities behind the scenes is what really, opened my eyes and, really grew a great sense of appreciation for the people that do the things that are going on right now, running the cameras, in the truck, doing whatever it is. I think that was the biggest thing, and shout out to all those people that are doing great things behind the scenes.
What part of the business interests you the most? Here we see you in action at the Big Ten basketball tournament, helping us out there. What part of it interested you the most?
Definitely, I still want to be in front of the camera. I don't think I'm as good as you or will ever be as good as you. But, I'll definitely strive for it. But one day be in front of the camera, do some stuff on TV, and see where it goes.
We look forward to seeing what the future holds for you. Look forward to seeing what the future holds for the Wildcats. How do you find success for Northwestern this year, Joe?
Take it one game at a time, but at the end of the day, we're looking to get back to the Big Ten championship and win it.
Paddy?
Sticking to the script.
Which is what?
Day in and day out.
All right.
Focus 1 week at a time.
Jared?
Just take it one game at a time, one practice at a time, one rep at a time. I think that's, as we've talked about since we've been here with Paddy, just being present. So being present in everything we do, I think will be good.
Pleasure to talk to all three of you, and thanks again for your great contributions to our network. Don't let these guys give you the business. All right? He was an important cog in the wheel, fellas.